So tell me, have you ever traveled out of the shoes of this country before?
Up until this day, I've not owned a passport. I've never needed one.
No. You need to allow me laugh a little.
I have never needed one. I've never wanted one.
Why do you say you never needed one?
Because I don't necessarily want to travel overseas. I want to see. Look, I'm very busy, so I don't get much time to go away and so on. But if I do, I want to see my country first. Okay. I'm proud. I'm a proud South African, and I believe there are so many nice and beautiful places in this country.
I agree with you.
That you can visit first before you go overseas.
I mean, this is Emmanuel Giovanni still on your screen. I mean, we're having a wonderful conversation.
Years ago, and we've been doing business together for quite a few years. I'm Afrikaans speaking, and and I'm very proud of that actually. Yes.
You just told them we're doing business together. I'm sure they don't know that I do business as well.
Oh, okay.
I guess they think that I'm just a.
But you're a man of many talents.
Oh well, what can I say? I mean, if you have to survive in this city, you got to do so many things.
You've got to.
You know. All right. Good to have you on the screen, Andre.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. You know,
sure.
Like I said to the viewers, I mean, we just talk about real facts. We just try to be as real as we can. You know, no string attached. Yeah. So tell me, you said you're an African.
Yes, very proud of that.
Tell me about the people of Africans, would you, just in a few minutes?
I find that we're actually a very relaxed type of person, very direct. We will tell you as we see something, and whether we're right or whether we're wrong, you will know where you're standing with us. If we like you, we like you. If we don't like you, you'll also know that. And we feel we want to be treated the same way by people in that respect. But we try to be. I think we try to be very honest, and as I say, we open. We're very open.
Would you say that an African is a brutal? I mean, when you say you're direct, I mean you say the way it is.
We call it the way we call a spade a spade.
A spade a spade.
We call a spade a
Not
spade.
Not minding whatever the consequences.
No. You know what? We'll deal with the consequences afterwards. But we believe that it's better get it out in the open, get it over and done with, and that's it.
I've met a couple of Africans, and you know, one thing fascinating about them is when they get upset, I mean, they burst very quickly. They say a lot of some kind of unacceptable words, especially when they get infuriated.
We get like that, but once we said it, it's out and it's done. It's not. We don't linger. We don't build a grudge or so. We open up that wound and we let everything out, and then afterwards we go on.
A couple of years back, I remember it was a business. I mean, the guy phoned me and he said he wanted to buy, so vehicles. A few hours down the line, immediately called. Some other person walked into the dealer and wanted to buy the vehicle. This is him sitting. Somebody had called me to say he is interested.
Yes.
But somebody walked in and is willing to pay.
Yeah.
I called him a few minutes after the guy, bought the car he inquired about. So the guy, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to shoot. He came to the dealership to confirm if the vehicle was actually. I told him the guy who bought the vehicle just left. Yes. I mean, the guy was so mad. He said a whole lot of things. I mean, as a matter of fact, he hasn't even bought the vehicle. He hasn't even given us a deposit to say that. I mean, he paid and then we sold the car. So I don't know why he was so upset.
Yeah, you know what? Because I think that he believes that because he told you he's going to buy it, that is good enough. But coming from that same perspective, I would have done the same as you did.
Of course, I was going to ask you.
I would have done exactly the same as you did. A promise is a promise, but money on the table is a different story.
Of course.
Money on the table is a different story.
Wonderful. So. I'm glad we're on the same page. Sometimes we don't always get on the same page. All right, tell me, what is the difference between an African and a pure white person? I don't know if you get my question. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, because there's an African, there's a real white guy.
Yeah, look,
people tends to mix this two.
I can give you my perspective on that, and that will not necessarily be the same as my brother's
Okay.
perspective,
Okay.
for that matter.
Okay.
I believe you don't have to be white to be Afrikaans.
Okay.
You can actually separate the two. If you take the guys from Northern Cape,
Okay.
for instance,
Okay.
mostly of Khoi origin and so on, but they speak a more pure Afrikaans,
Okay.
and they've got more, I want to say, Afrikaans traditions than I do.
Oh.
So you definitely don't have to be white to be an Afrikaner.
Okay.
Afrikaner, I think, is in your heart.
Okay.
I think that's in your heart. As I said, I'm very proud. I'm very proud to be supporting Afrikaans music. Our Afrikaans traditions of braaiing and family, the way. I'm sure you have that family thing as well, where you like to be with your family every weekend, and not meaning your children and your wife, meaning your brothers and your sisters and so on, that comes together. We do the similar. We do that. Like for instance, I call them my children. They're friends.
Okay.
But they've become more than friends. They're younger than me and my wife, but older than my kids. But they're by me every Saturday.
Okay.
Every Saturday we watch rugby and we braai. We have a braai, and they've become my closest family. They've become my wife and my children's closest family, closer than, for instance, although I love my mother and my wife loves her mother and so on, it's just that I think the fact that we have got so much in common, that we deal so many
I see.
there's so many things that we do together, that there's just that special bond, and Afrikaners tend to create that with each other.
I see.
Because our beliefs are the same in general. Also with Afrikaans, you get Muslim Afrikaners.
Oh, there are Muslims?
Yes,
Africans.
plenty.
Okay.
You
there are
get the
Christians,
Cape Malays, for instance.
Okay.
And you get Christian Afrikaners. Those are, I'd say, the two predominant religious groups that you get us in. But we seem to don't care too much whether, as long as you just have the same values.
Okay. The same beliefs.
For Afrikaner, I think it's more about value and getting along together.
Okay. Tell me, what was the role of Africans in apartheid?
Okay, that now I do differ from what I want to say the majority of the Afrikaners from the Hendrik Verwoerd and John Foster era, and my last, let's call it, pure white president was F.W. de Klerk. I was one of those in 1992 when we had the referendum to vote if we could give black people the vote. I voted yes to have that.
Okay.
That's always been in my parents were. I'm lucky. My parents were also very open-minded, and they believed in the value of people around them and so on. So
not minding their color or whatever.
Not minding their color or whatever.
Okay.
And that's the way they brought me and my brother up.
Okay.
So we definitely, our perspective, or my perspective from apartheid was plain and simple. It was wrong.
Okay.
Plain and simple. It was wrong. I honestly believe, and a lot of my, let's call it, kin will crucify me for saying this, but I think Verwoerd, John Foster, Malan, all those guys were crazy. That's the best way I can state it.
Okay, would you tell me that there were more developments in the country as of then than now? I mean, which is better in terms of development? Let's say infrastructure wise, or
yes, I do believe I do believe that a lot of the infrastructure, the roads. Now, while I'm talking about infrastructure, I'm not talking about things like obviously internet and that type of thing, because that was not really available at that stage.
Okay.
But the upkeep of the country was so much better.
Okay.
The Joburg was not nearly as dirty as it is now. And I think but I don't always want to blame the government for that.
Okay.
What I want to blame is the people's mindset.
People's mindset.
All these guys that you see them, they're just driving on the road and they just throw their packets out the window and so on. I'm one of those folks. I'll make you stop.
Yeah.
If I can stop you, I'll make you stop, and I'll go and call you and say, listen, go and take go and pick up your rubbish.
Okay.
Because I believe it's selfish. It's people's selfishness. Selfishness is actually killing a great country.
Okay.
That is my honest opinion, and I get worked up about that.
I see.
Because I'm proud of South Africa.
That's right.
But when I look outside and I see it's dirty, and I see people don't care about each other.
Are you saying this during the time of apartheid? Are you saying that the country wasn't as dirty as it
Definitely
is right
wasn't. Definitely wasn't. I promise you that.
Okay. So what is actually the cause now? I mean,
people have become selfish. People have become selfish.
So if you do that as a then, there will be grievous punishment compared to now.
Of course, the laws were restricted so much more. Were enforced so much more stricter. Now, also you got to remember, I was in 1994 when the ANC was voted into Parliament. I was 21.
Oh.
I am now. It's 31 years later.
Yeah.
So for most of my life now, actually, and most of my thinking life, I've been living under ANC rule.
That's right.
And I'm not here to talk politics. That's not what I'm going to say. I think we must steer clear from there.
Yeah.
But I have seen the country, the building, the poverty, those things go backwards. Maybe it was just hidden more at that stage. I don't know. But what I can see, I don't see that we've really I think the middle class has gone backwards, and the poor, maybe it was just hidden more at that stage. I don't know. But what I can see, I don't see that we've really I think the middle class has gone backwards, and the poor has gone even more poor. That is again, that's my perspective.
Well, let's not, like we said, we don't want to talk about politics, so let's not dive into it, because some other people will argue that, I mean, life was even more tougher then compared to now.
That's what I wanted to say, because there was no internet available then, so a lot of the things could have been hidden. A lot of the things could have been hidden. So that I agree, it's a slippery slope. I could just give my own perspective.
It's fine. I mean, maybe some other time we can dig deep in there. Okay. So tell me, have you ever traveled out of the shoes of this country before?
Up until this day, I've not owned a passport. I've never needed one.
No. You need to allow me to laugh a little.
I have never needed one. I've never wanted one.
Why do you say you never needed one?
Because I don't necessarily want to travel overseas. I want to see. Look, I'm very busy, so I don't get much time to go away and so on. But if I do, I want to see my country first. Okay. I'm proud. I'm a proud South African, and I believe there are so many nice and beautiful places in this country.
I agree with you.
That you can visit first before you go overseas.
I agree. So are you saying that, I mean, all these years, in as much as you've not gone out of this country, you've not visited so many places I mean, you've been in one area particularly?
I'd love to still go to the Kalahari.
Okay.
I've never been to the Kalahari. That's on the way to Namibia, the desert. I've never been there. I've never been on the west coast of I'd still like to see that first. I've been to Natal plenty. I've been to the, let's call it Western Cape, the Garden Route, plenty. I love it there. I've been to the Eastern Cape, plenty. I've even been Transkei, Ciskei, that area and so on. I've never really been up north to the, let's call it close to the Zimbabwean border or so. I've been right up to Cozy Bay in Natal.
Okay.
Up to the, I could see the Mozambican border. That's the closest I've ever been to leaving this country.
Tell me, there's this narrative, people say about South Africans. The South Africans don't travel. They're just here. And some people would argue that that's the reason most, even though I don't want to say I buy it there, because I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of lovely South Africans, beautiful people. I don't have much negative to say about them, but some people will tell you that this is why some South Africans are not welcoming, because they don't travel out of the shoes of this country. They don't know how other people, other tradition, other cultures, other people do. Because from West Africa, if I say we are widely traveled. Personally for me, one of the things is that I want to travel. There are so many other countries I want to go to, not probably to just live there, at least see how the places are, see how they do the things. A lot of things we read in the book. It would be nice for me to also move around and see other things myself. But the majority of the South Africans don't think that way. It seems to be a narrative.
Look, I can't speak for other guys. I can only speak for myself. But I think we tend to be comfortable where we are, and we don't always like change that much. Change is for myself. I've been at the same, and I love the people I work with. I've been at the same workplace for 25 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
For 25 years.
That's a long time.
And I'm not saying it's just because I don't like change that I've never felt the need though, but I don't really like change. We get comfortable with.
Well, we'll say the only constant thing in life is changes. So why don't you like changes? Are you saying you're so happy with what you're doing, you love what you're doing, and you're well paid or well taken care of?
Look, I'm happy where I am in life.
And mind you, when I talk about traveling, like I say, sometimes it might not just be for work purposes.
Yes.
Maybe just for leisure purposes. Before I was on the phone with a friend now who said he was in Belgium yesterday. Today he's in France. It's just toiling around the countries to see how other countries. And that's the angle I'm going.
It must be nice. Look, also you got to remember coming from South Africa, to travel anywhere else at this stage is very expensive.
Oh, so it's a cost.
It is a cost. The cost is a big thing to go with that. And you know now, if you have to go, what is a plane ticket going to cost you to go home now? It's going to cost you. It costs a lot of money.
It's a festive season now, so
yes, it costs a lot of money. And for us to now, say for instance, I want to go to England. I don't even want to think what the cost of a plane ticket is going to be, what the cost of buying things in pounds are going to be, and so on. So cost is a big thing. But personally, for me, I'd say I want to see my place first. And I think a lot of Afrikaners also, we don't like change too much. We're comfortable with the things we've got around us.
Okay, that's fair enough. You're sharing your own experience.
My own views.
Now, anyway, when I'm saying this, when I say some, I like to use the word some or most, because this is not applicable to everybody.
Yes.
When you get on the plane, you see a lot of South Africans. When I was coming back at the end earlier this year, a lot of young ladies, young guys coming from my place down here. They are traveling as well. So you cannot just equate and say all South Africans are this. And that brought me to a question. Does this narrative, we're in the business together. Sometimes you hear why dude calls you on the phone and he wants to buy this. probably when he hears your accent or he asks you where are you from, and you mention the name of the country, he loses interest in the business. So there's this narrative that people from a particular place, this particular place are bad or this or that. I mean, and for me, I don't take that lightly. I mean, I remember confronting a white dude who, so what do you mean? I mean, I can't say because you are this. I mean, the first iPhone I had right here, I was going on a test drive. I mean, I've not shared this before. On a test drive with a guy, I came out from the car, I left the phone, I had the key just for me to go inside and come in. He said it's going. I forgot I left my iPhone in the car. When he left, I couldn't find the phone anymore. That was the first. I can't remember if it's iPhone 5 or thereabout. That was how I lost that phone. But then there's this narrative that is a black person, he is prone to this, I mean, they tend to judge you by your color.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've heard about that before. Or if you also in support of that,
Of course, I've heard about that, and I don't think it's just a white thing.
Okay.
I don't think it's a white thing as well. I know even the black South Africans has given you guys a hard time.
A lot too. I mean,
so I don't think it's a color thing. I think it's, no way I want to say it's jealousy. Because you guys in general, I'm in a way I'm generalizing, but I see as you guys doing good for yourselves. You come here, this is our country, and you're doing good for yourselves. And I think a lot of people are jealous.
Let me cut
I think
you
a lot of people are jealous about it.
Let me, before we talk about, let me call you. I mean, we're going to go for a short break so I can give you a breather. I mean, this is Emmanuel Giovanni still on your screen. I mean, we're having a wonderful conversation. Like I said, if you like what you're doing, come on, click on the like button. You can also help us share this podcast so we can go as viral as we can. Come on, hold on, don't go nowhere. Give us a few minutes and then we'll be back for a short break. People, welcome back once again. I mean, Andre, we were talking about how, for me, I feel most times a lot of people get judged by where they come from, by what another of them have done, but not really about, and I feel people should be judged by the content of their character, who they are. I mean, if I have a fellow black who has stolen, it doesn't mean that I can also steal.
Yeah.
But sometimes you see these things, people, who've lost a couple of deals with this, is a black person, is this, is from here, is from there. So, you were telling me about what you think about it, if it's jealousy or whatever.
I think a lot of it is maybe jealousy, and the fear of the unknown. And we are human beings. People judge. They judge. It's wrong, but we do judge. And you've been in situations where you've judged, where you've wrong. I've done the same.
Of course.
I've done the same. And I think let's put it down to human nature.
Okay.
Let's put it down to human nature.
I just feel it. I mean, I don't want to admit if I have gotten to that level of judging people based on where they come from. It's different from judging you by what you have done. But like I say, sometimes it looks as if it's something that they carry over. I mean, this guy somewhere has done me evil, so whoever comes from where he comes from is likely to do the same thing. For instance, somebody will wake up and say Nigerians are this, Zimbabweans are this. But I don't always want to buy that concept.
Remember, it's so much easier to break somebody down or break a culture down than it is to build it up.
I see.
And so you will always hear more negative things and so on than you would hear the positive
about the people.
And because people, and that's wrong, unfortunately they're negative, and they, as I said, they're judgmental and they're negative. So it's easier for them to go and say, this foreigner that foreigner that foreigner that, instead of saying this foreigner is actually supporting 5 South African families that is on the back of his business, feeding their kids and so on. And look, I work for a Jewish company. And a lot of people tend to say that, people say, but the Jewish are so frugal and the Jewish doesn't. How much has the Jewish people not done for other people as well? And I think with the foreigners and so on, same thing. Same thing. But it's easier to break them down.
So tell me, leading me to foreigners, when you hear that word foreigners, like in this country, I mean, sometimes some people, not me, some section of people feel that when we talk about foreigners, we talk about blacks alone. Is that correct? I mean, for instance, have you been stopped on the road before? I mean, by the virtue of your color, when one sees you, obviously, he's African, he's a white. It's different from when they see you, my cameraman is a black guy, is this and that. Have you ever been stopped on the road and questioned, where are you from, where is this, where is that, your document, and has it happened?
Yeah, no, never.
It hasn't happened.
No, never.
So,
I've been stopped on the road and so on, just for normal inspections and so on,
okay.
and traffic violations and so on, but never had I had a question, where you from, or what you doing here, or anything
so
that made me feel uncomfortable like that.
Do you want to agree with me now that when with some section, not with me, who are saying that the foreigners in quote here are black people? Do you want to agree with that?
Pardon?
Do you want to agree with that saying that some people, I've had a couple of podcasts when people speak, they say that they are referred to, that the only people they call foreigners here are black people mainly. Do you want to agree with that?
Yeah, I'd say in this context, yes.
In this context, so
In
only
this
black.
context,
So
yes.
we will not say that. Well, no, Americans are here,
Yeah.
Chinese are here.
Yeah, they-
but nobody. Nobody
I
sees them as.
I honestly believe in the reality of it is that they're not going to, if you're a white American visiting here, that the traffic cop is going to stop you and ask you what, but unfortunately,
Is that
unfortunately,
okay?
that is
like
the,
you said,
that is the reality.
unfortunately. All right, I think I really need to let you go here, but this conversation is getting more interesting. Andre, you smoke. What do you love about cigarette? Tell me. Let's talk about that.
You know what? Number one, I like smoking. I've been smoking for more than 30 years.
What?
There was a stage that I went cold turkey for 2 years. Now that I just put the cigarettes down there, and I actually had it in my car. I had half a packet in my car, and I never threw it away. I never threw it away. A week after throwing that packet away, I started smoking.
Oh, so
Now, I just think I
is
enjoy it.
there something you miss when you don't smoke? I mean,
Obviously, I'm addicted to it, but my smoking is my me time.
okay,
My smoking is my me time. At home, I don't smoke in the house,
okay.
so I don't smoke where the other people is in the house and so on. So when I go out, that's my me time where I can just think for myself and just that's it.
It's okay. I mean, that's you. Thank you so much for granting. Don't you want me to get you a passport? I think you need to travel around. Probably, if you give it a try, you want to continue every time you have it free.
If you can fund my trip as well, I would enjoy that. Yes.
No problem. If we can get a passport first, wouldn't you want to go get a passport first,
Okay.
and then we can take it off from there? I think there's something you're missing.
Probably.
Yeah, that's something. Not just say. You just need to go out of the shoes of this country, feel it, and then you come back and tell me.
My wife wants to take me to Russia, of all places.
Oh my word!
She's been there and she loved it, and she wants to take me to Russia. Of all
You
places.
must give it a try.
Yeah.
Give it a try, okay? Thank you so much, Mr. Andre.
Awesome.
I appreciate it so much, okay?
Awesome.
So I'll see you in my next podcast.
That's great,
Thank
Emmanuel.
you so
Thank
much.
you.